First, I thought I misread this on the TV screen in front of me here. I saw President Trump addressing, I thought I saw it as an address to the nation tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern time. But no, it's just an interview with Sean Hannity. So it's going to be Sean just talking is what it's going to be tonight with the President of the United States. But it is not an address to the nation. It is just an interview with Hannity tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central time. So we'll do Ask Mundo Anything, first one of 2026 coming up here in 10 minutes. Whatever you want to ask. It's a free-for-all, okay? End of the 8 o'clock hour every Thursday morning here on KCMO. I got to give the Kansas City Star a little bit of love here, a little bit of credit. I know I like to goof on them quite a bit, all right? I know I did.
Fake news.
I got to call it both ways here with the Kansas City Star. But I'll give them this. This is some good reporting. Kansas has a special law that says stadium star bond talks can be kept secret. So this week, the unified government denied the Kansas City Star's request for records related to non-disclosure agreements among local officials. The state and the team signed leading up to the announcement of a star bond project a couple of weeks ago. Documentation related to the project will remain confidential and will not be available through the Kansas Open Records Act until the parties execute an agreement. According to the bond agreement, state legislators moved forward last month. The bond agreement attributes that confidentiality to a Kansas state statute specifically designed for star bond projects involving a major professional sports franchise. Think about this. The Kansas state legislature created a way for the public to know as little as possible about this star bond project as it relates to stadium projects, John.
Ergo, when Governor Kelly says that the border war doesn't include the Chiefs, I guess this is what she was referring to, huh?
Might be part of it. This is just filthy.
Premeditated, sir.
This is filthy. I mean, listen, I haven't touched the issue all morning, and I'm not going on beyond like the next couple of minutes on this, okay? But I don't care if you are rah-rah Chiefs going to KCK. Admit it's filthy. I'm not trying to change the outcome, as someone alleged on my Facebook page yesterday. Pete, you're trying to change the outcome. No, I'll go to the new stadium. I will, okay? I'm not like one of these, I'll never go. I'm a Kansas resident. I'm not a Missourian. But man, don't tell me you care about what your politicians are doing behind closed doors and then pick and choose when you freak out about a lack of transparency. This is it. This is gross. And it's not one political party that's being gross right now in Kansas. It's both of them. It's the establishment. It's the left. It's the right. They all came together on this one, which makes you wonder, who can you really trust? That is wild stuff. They have a specific clause they passed in the legislature that allows them to keep all of this stuff confidential per a state statute for star bond projects, not any star bond project, but a star bond project involving a major professional sports team, which means they wanted no part of journalists, of the media, of the public, knowing anything about this deal for as long as possible. When you are denying open records requests. Wow. Man, that is just next level. Next level, man. And anytime politicians don't want you to know something, if you're not asking why, then you are just blinded by your bias. All right? It doesn't matter how you feel about this deal. If you point blank look at this and say to yourself, my politicians don't want me to know about this? That's a little sketch, is it not? Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. In the meantime, we are monitoring protests right now with federal agents in Minneapolis. That is happening today after what took place yesterday, where a woman was shot and killed. She was clearly playing vigilante justice. She was clearly getting in the way of ICE doing its job. And then she resists arrest, tries to pull her car out of the situation, and ends up getting shot and killed. Well, I look at this video over and over and over again, and I wonder if there would have been a way for this person to not get killed. Because that's what we should all want. We don't want people getting killed, even though we can readily admit that this lady was wrong in what she was doing. By the way, she spent time here in Kansas City. She had Missouri plates. Her car was registered here as of 2023. The whole thing's just a massive tragedy. And now, listen, I don't believe these protests are going to be George Floyd-esque. I just don't. And there's two reasons for that. And you might not like the answers, at least to one of them. One, she's white. Two, it's Minneapolis in January. They're not going to be out there all hours of the day, all hours of the night. I mean, in the end, these people have to go get their Starbucks coffee to warm up, okay? They just have to. That's a fact.
Caribou coffee up there.
Is that what it is?
That's what they do, yeah.
They're what? They're not Starbucks fans?
No, they're Caribou. That's the Minnesota thing, yeah.
Caribou Coffee? Is that like a regional chain?
I believe it started up there.
They got some weird food habits up there, huh? They really do.
Yeah, we do have a few down here.
What do they like? They like their bunt cakes and they like their Caribou Coffee, I guess, right? That's their thing.
And hot dish.
Eh? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know they handle the cold better than we do and better than most of the country does, but they are not going to be out there hours upon hours upon hours protesting this. They're just not. I mean, unless George Soros doubles his rate, pays overtime, time and a half, hazard pay for the cold, it's not going to happen. But Britt Hume does a great job, of course, senior political analyst on Fox News, just a voice of reason last night, commenting on what was going on up there in Minneapolis and what continues into today.
Well, I don't think I've seen the conflict between the federal government and the states as intense as this since the civil rights movement in the 1960s, when southern states were trying to block enforcement of civil rights laws and the rest of it. This is intense. I mean, these agents, these ICE agents, had every right to be there. Indeed, one might argue they had a duty to be there. They are this nation's enforcer of the immigration laws. They certainly would like, as you heard her say, cooperation from local and other officials. But this is their job. And there's no evidence here that they weren't doing their job or doing it properly. And the way that these local officials are acting is extraordinary. And the statement that mayor made, laced with obscenities, telling the agents to get the F, and he didn't say F, out of Minnesota, is something we haven't seen in a very long time indeed. I can't believe that across the country this will sit well with the public.
And that's even why I think Tim Walz, who said a lot of ridiculous stuff yesterday, the governor of Minnesota, he did say in a statement and publicly, hey, if you're going to protest peacefully. Even Britt Hume knows that, frankly, when you look at all of Trump's policies, there are some that are not popular with the public, but one of the strongest policies the president does have the American people's backs on, or they have his back on, is his handling of the immigration issue, shutting down the border, and then, yes, deportations. That is one of his stronger policy items when you look at general polling. And I think most people are going to see this video. Like, I showed it to Kate last night. I admitted I was kind of struggling with it. I'm like, okay, was that necessary? Was that really, hey, you know what, that person's life is at risk? Now, it's easy for me to hindsight 2020 that, or Monday morning quarterback and then say, hey, dive out of the way, like a Tom Cruise movie. It's easy for me to say that. And sometimes I get caught up in the nuance, and she looks at it, and, she rightfully says, looks like she made a lot of mistakes and broke a lot of laws leading up to that. It's like, yeah, that's indisputable. If you want to just start from scratch and say, what are the facts? You have somebody who broke multiple laws leading up to that. Does that mean the outcome was justified? I don't know. I do know this. You break several laws in the span of 60 seconds, you are putting yourself at great risk for tragedy to unfold. It's the same thing I said about Ashley Babbitt, by the way. The lady who was the one person killed on January 6th. Did she deserve to die jumping through a window at the Capitol building? Probably not. But if you do stupid things and you break laws, you are heightening your risk of really bad things happening.